about them more. I just really like this deck. I don't know. And we don't have a lot of time before we don't have a lot of time before the Strixhaven comes out, so I think I just want to keep working on it. So I wanted to go off of the Emperors and back in on the Nightmares. Although I didn't. Oh, Cling to Dust. Those are the other cuts. Were 2 Clings. I think I might play. I think I might play Trespasser over more Clings here. Yeah, I still like the Arayo deck. Wait, why did I add Culling Ritual to the sideboard? That can't be right. This might be one of the older drafts. I don't think it is though. One Hoof seems pretty good. I don't think in this build. In this build, I really liked just being like mid-rangey. We trophied with this build. I think it was feeling pretty good. Why did I add Culling Ritual to this deck? I didn't have it in the first draft, did I? Wow. Oh, right. So no, the Culling Ritual. I remember the Culling Ritual is important against Boros. So you just don't commit, and then you like ritual into stuff. Of course. I don't know that. I'm very interested in a card that makes Ouroboroids in play when they're better. Oh no, I just saw that I have Dryad Arbor in the opening hand. This hand is actually a mulligan. This hand was actually just so bad. But went from being pretty good to so bad. Have I seen the Phoenix Crushed Historic Qualifier playing Deem Inferior and Noxus Revival? Have you tried those cards in archetype? I've played Noxus Revival and I've never really liked it. I don't know what Deem Inferior is. Cost 1 less for each card you've drawn this turn. Put an online permanent top or bottom. Sorcery speed removal is... Oh, dude, we're on the draw against prowess. Or not on the draw. Or yes, on the draw. I might even... I think I might just concede to Slickshot Show Off plotted. Just conceal some info. Okay, so I'm going to cut the Grists. Gonna keep in the Nightmares. I think I'm cutting the Overlords. They're pretty slow. I think we need to leave in the Thoughtseizes for Corey Steelcutter. I don't hate... especially if they're playing more of the talent build. I think the Bowmasters are going to be fun. I think I'm going to cut a Nantuko and the Icetill. Worked with a creator for a Stork of the deck. Took some inspiration. That's cool. That's sick. Yeah, I'm not sure about sorcery speed removal in like this card Deep Inferior in Modern. It seems kind of interesting. That is not one I have tried. I think I'm gonna lead on the Vexing Bauble. We have Arbor in our hand again. It's just a hard hand to mulligan. We're just stopping their baubles. This could end up being pretty good. Could end up not being that relevant. Although we also like in theory with the Culling Ritual in our hand, we don't mind letting them resolve a 1-drop. Yeah, if Cruise is legal, and I don't know if Gitaxian Probe is legal, it's definitely a big deal. Yeah, Noxious Revival also way, way, way better in the Treasure Cruise format. So maybe we can green set for a Halfling next turn. Yeah, take the Scalding Tarn. Good news is they don't have removal for my I don't think I was supposed to take the Bauble with me having Vexing Bauble in play. Maybe I was just to stop a Prowess token. Been playing Through the Breach a lot and keep losing to Solitude. Would it be crazy to play main deck Vexing Bauble, or is that exclusive? No, main deck Vexing Bauble's fine. A transformative sideboard can also be a good plan for you. Just move away from Through the Breach post board potentially. Although I don't know. Did you try Magus of the Candelabra? I think Corian Ranger does a pretty similar thing to Magus of the Candelabra. But it does so without needing to be in play first. We did play some Magus with like Eldrazi stuff, and it definitely was a pretty good performer in those builds. All right, so hopefully next turn we can They go Corey Steelcutter plus creature. If they have a Heat or a Bolt, it's really a nightmare. Nightmare. They needed to have that to stop me. So I probably will not be able to win unless we top deck an untapped land. Oh, no, sorry, we're just dead. We're just dead. Well, I guess we needed to dodge that top deck. Maybe we needed to take the bauble instead. We weren't drawing the land anyways. Let me check it on the challenge. Okay, we'll keep this. Okay, always happy to have a Thoughtseize against the Hedge Maze. Pi, thanks for the raid. Hope you're doing well. Welcome, everybody. To take the Rider or to take the Evolution. One thing that's kind of interesting about taking the Evolution is maybe they would just run the Rider out and we could Grist it if they want to play around another Thoughtseize. So they have, I think they just have 7 each of both of these. So I think I should take the Rider because even if they top deck another one, they can't go for it this turn because of the Evolution. Whereas if I take the Evolution, they can top deck a Neoform and then still go off this next turn. Maybe Cub, maybe actually targeting the Ghost Quarter is bad here because then I can't loop it. I can't loop it with Icetill because it comes back tapped. If I play Blue-Black Flash, not Energy World is Healing. Yeah, I like the Flash deck a lot. I do think gameplay Modern's feeling pretty good at the moment, and then I was kind of worried about like stagnation and like just feeling like the Modern could be a much better format with some banlist management, but Strixhaven looks so good that I'm starting to think that Wizards is maybe just kind of cooking with their decision to chill on the ban list. So post-board we get 3 Ashioks, 3 Vexing Baubles. Nothing else really. Ooh, baby. I think we could maybe beat. Okay, maybe Urini kills my Ouroboroid, but if they don't have another land and they like Galta in this Urini, then we can go Nantuko on our Ouroboroid and kill them. And we can also just we could do that next turn and have lethal anyways. Boros is 27%. It's not healthy. I agree. Boros's presence is not healthy. I'm hoping that Strixhaven changes a lot. Is it? I didn't know it was up to 27%. Last I looked, it was 20, which is already like too much. They went for this instead of Galta. Maybe did they pitch Galta? No. I guess they could have played their land first and on this. I'm seeing 21.6%, which is again, this is like incredibly high. Like some of the highest play rates of any deck in any format ever. My opinion will change if you face Samuel Titan. So we could only. Oh, I guess we can. Yeah. No, I guess Ghost Quarter doesn't do anything, does it? Yeah. So we can only copy the Ouroboroid once. So I do think. Do you think this is better than Gristing? Because we get to go 3 counters and then oh, they're looking for Besage You for the Nantuko. But if they do that, I guess we get to Grist. And we also get to make a copy of or I guess we get to make a copy of Ouroboroid anyways. We could have made 2 copies if we didn't get the Arbor. I was just thinking we weren't using the mana, you know. Okay, so we want this one to resolve first. Although I guess, does it matter? Which, yeah, it does matter. Consign, of course. Dang. Well, I guess it'll be kind of fun if we just can get to continue this game. You can also consign the Reflexive Grist trigger, so this did work out better. Could Ouroboroid be good in Brood Scale as the plan against Synergy? Possibly. I think there's also some overlapping synergy there, too. Brood Scale or Blade making Ouroboroid bigger is kind of interesting. You can go wide with tokens. I guess I'll put that on my notes. We have a few different builds of Brood Scale that are bigger anyways. So they grab Xenagos. So they're gonna be Galta-ing, Xenagos, or Rini, which will unfortunately kill me before we get to keep battling in this beautiful game. No reach. They didn't put. Did they pitch the Rini? I guess they didn't need to put it into play. Okay, well, we got some sideboard cards. No. I guess Icetill Ghost Quarter can be a plan. I'm gonna cut the Cleaning as well. I'm gonna cut one Nightmare. Probably just cut two actually, and then play an Overlord. Obligatory Phoenix League with Flow State as first deck of Strix. 2 mana draw spells are not good in Phoenix. You just want all your cards to be 1 mana. In my opinion, you just sort of kind of naturally have, you sort of naturally have the mana acceleration, or sorry, not mana, the card advantage by playing Phoenix and Dimulich. Like that's like a deck. That's like a ton of 2-for-1s already. You can play Winter Night Stories. You can play Tamio. You're not really lacking on 2-for-1s. What you're lacking in is like 0 mana spells. I don't know. I'm definitely overwhelmed with the options for Strixhaven. I texted Dingo, who's probably not awake yet, asking if he wants to do early access on Thursday, Friday. Maybe I should ask Doom too. Get some people going. Bowmaster can be good against Neoform. Just usually if they go for usually if they're going for Gristlebrand, it's good. I think at this spot you want to go Green Sun turn 1, or sorry, Thoughtseize turn 1 over Green Sun. Green Sun Arbor into like Cub is interesting, but I might want to get like Nantuko or Ouroboroid, and I think we want to play around Veil of Summer as well. Phoenix, surely Phoenix is just never playable, right? Is this just cope? I don't know. I think we could do better on our like Magic dialogue instead of just going, is this deck shit or is it broken? You know, maybe that's not exactly what you're saying, but I don't know. I mean, I've top 8'd Modern Challenge with Phoenix before Faithless Looting came out. We've trophied with like Phoenix Stimulich several times, and it's like it definitely has its position in the metagame. You know, it definitely is good against some stuff. I think the Phoenix Stimulich deck is also, I think it's an excellent Force of Negation deck too, if that card's ever really well positioned. Right, I guess, did they find another Neoform? One thing that's interesting here is they already have an island in their hand. I believe they usually play 2, sometimes 3 basics, so I think I'm going to try to set up for Icetill Ghost Quarter this game. So that means waiting a turn on the Green Sun. Although this turn we will definitely now be slamming this Ashiok. Phoenix is somewhat a mascot deck for every set release. Maybe. I mean, I think the deck is like, it does a lot of powerful things. I feel like it is. It's a deck that gets to put a bunch of 4 mana creatures into play for 0 mana. It gets to play a lot of like creature removal and Force of Negation, and has like a lot of card advantage. That's what the deck does, and sometimes that's good, and sometimes it's not so good. We're 2-0 in the challenge. Beat Neoform, beat Boros. Okay, round 3 is about to start. Stinks to mulligan land Vexing Bauble, but the land is the Arbor. They multi-5. Let's join them. They keep 5. I think I just need to find, yeah, Thoughtseize or Vexing Bauble. So this is a 4-card hand. I think I'll scoop to a Veil of Summer and just lock it on the challenge. If they have that. Interesting that they kept Pact instead of a green card. I guess they maybe just didn't have a green card. They say no to a Generous End. I think it makes sense. My opponent literally can't combo me right now, so I think I'm gonna be Bowmastering him. If they want to, I guess maybe I'm letting them draw a consign by waiting on the Vexing Bauble. That could happen. Do you think round 3 of the challenge has started? This game is almost definitely going to be kind of low mental tax, so I'll probably just wait on the other monitor. So they have Rider. Yeah, they could combo me next turn, so I will play the Vexing Bauble over the Grist, but I'm just going to move this over to the other monitor. We do win the die roll. I think this is our first one die roll today. I'm going to mulligan Leyline 6 lands. Seems like an easy mulligan. Opponent's maybe not here yet. Okay. Challenge opponent is here. I'm going to keep my 6. Let's keep this. Ooh, what are they playing? I think this matchup is better for us than the combo deck or the combo build. Yeah, so I think I'm going to grab the Windswept. I don't know. It's actually a pretty juicy. It's a pretty juicy Nightmare Milling Graveyard Trespasser. I think I'm going to do that with the spawn token in play. I guess I keep this on top. I can potentially chump with the spawn token to guarantee that I'm drawing a land. And then I can go like Bowmaster Nightmare. Me and a friends are building off the Blue List we were playing a few months ago. Why no Proctor? I mostly think Proctor is not that good. It's a bit weird too if you're playing Solitude in your Proctor deck. And I also mostly think that like 4 Consign is enough enablers without needing to go harder on enablers. But you can play Proctor. It's like it's permissible. So I could sack the Bowmaster to recur it, but that won't be that relevant because they're going to jump this with Guide. I think I'll leave it in play for Seasoned Pyromancer. I was thinking about one Ouroboroid instead of one Yogg in the Binton Madison Green Black Rules Code deck. What would you recommend? I think an Ouroboroid has been feeling really good, especially if you're playing Green Sun. I'm not familiar with that list though. Blocking response of letting it grow with Ouroboroid. Yeah, but I needed the land on top, and we got to deny the treasure. You're not serious, sorry. All right, so we're taking 4. They get a treasure. It seems to be Nykthos to be okay. Mono green build. It's not. You need Forest for Quarian Ranger so badly. We have played it before. It was in our very first draft. Spellmasters go poorly. Kinda. I wasn't that interested in continuing with it either. So they can sack 3 things to kill my Ouroboroid. Which they do. And then I can potentially... I'd have to get back a 1-drop with the Nightmare. This also fuels my Trespasser. Pretty interesting decision point. I think it speaks to the strength of the card. So 1 card in the yard shy of escaping a Flage if they were to surveil it here, which they do not. They keep their card on top. They smack me with this 4/3 Rag event again. I'm at 12, effectively 11 with the Bombardment. They flip Ouroboroid. And they can cast it. Although they would cast it second main phase, I guess. Yeah, second main phase isn't as bad. So now I can go Grist and Nightmare. I'm gonna make Grist uncounterable just in case they have Mana Tithe. And I'm gonna sack the Delighted Halfling And then I'm going to bring it back second main phase, and this way I can bank some extra energy. Oh, I guess I could bring back the Bowmaster and bank some extra energy. Yeah, we'll do that. So we'll sack the Bowmaster, kill Ouroboroid. I think it might be better to kill Ragavan, but I'm not really sure. Now we could bring back Grist and then kill the Ragavan. Sure, let's do that. They're gonna kill the Grist again, but I don't want to get hit by Ragavan again. Yeah, so we trophied with Nightmare, and then maybe this is wrong. I lose a Trespasser too, and I lose the Grist. Yeah, sorry, this is probably just wrong. Oh, but they didn't sack. Great. But we trophied with the Nightmare build, and we tried No Nightmares. I didn't like No Nightmares. Pro Nightmare over here. Oh, sorry, I forgot to change the title. Things with. They flip over Dryad Arbor, which they cannot play. Okay, we can also sack Dryad Arbor off the Nightmare if we so desire. I think I'm just going to get 2 Graveyard Trespassers in play here. No, Ouroboroid costs 4 energy to get back. Could we have done that? We would have had to get back Halfling and then it, or a 2-drop first. Oh, my Arbor's gone. So I should have got back a Bowmaster first. I guess we could just go Thoughtseize and then play another Nightmare. The discard Ragavan is probably the only spell. This was not a very well sequenced turn, although between rounds of the challenge we can turn our brain off a little bit. Can't you just play Nightmare twice? I don't know. I think not killing their Ouroboroid was pretty scary, but maybe I was too scared. Although it's a bit weird that they had Discharge and they just didn't kill my Grist, right? I don't know what that was about. I haven't seen a lot of Fables lately, but this is a good top deck for them for sure. So we'll take that. It's kind of good against the Bowmaster. So I can go. I feel like I mostly just am like interested in pinging them a bunch. So like get another Bowmaster in play. We could get back Ouroboroid, but I think on this board it's just each damage is so good. And we'll cast this Bowmaster, I think. And then they will not be able to discard anything to the Fable if we ping them. I guess they could sack a Shaman to kill a Bowmaster with Bombardment. They probably should take that line. They missed it. Alright, so up a game. So I think down to 1 Grist is the plan. And then -4 Thoughtseizes. Why wouldn't we flash it in? I guess there's not much reason to or not to, right? Like, what's the difference between like main phasing it versus responding to the Fable trigger? A lot of times I'll take actions like this that don't matter on your sequencing because I'm streaming and I want the games to be faster. So if you could tell me if there's a reason to flash it in, let me know. But if there's no reason not to, I'll do it main phase for the pace of the stream. This Dryad Arbor is right here in our opening hand every single time today. Mana Tithe counter argument. That is the reason. Which is the reason the main phase, yeah. I think I put it here. Bit weird. There's a reason I chose the Dryad Art. Poor broke streamer uses mana traders instead of owning every card and every art of every card. If only I had a few 5-packs of gifted subs to afford better art. Does no one care about art anymore? So probably playing like Blood Moon or Spyro this turn. So this Overlord's going to be kind of tough to cast. Looks like if I want a Green Sun for Ouroboroid, I won't be able to make any Nantuko copies. If only I had access to every card through an alternate account. I mean, with that account, I lose money. Like the EV I'm playing on is just not good, and I don't get any QPs. I have to play on this account. Okay, tin matches still going on. This does nothing on this board. Oh wait, I can't activate mana abilities, dude. It's broken. Okay, might as well copy, and then we cannot copy again. Okay, an attack for a ton. So this is 6 toughness. They could block all of their stuff on the Ouroboroid and die. So let's get in. All right, no blocks. Good choice. Let's go to game 3. Oh, that's the match. It's good against Boros. I don't know why. I don't know why it's so good against Boros. Pretty tempting hand. I'm gonna mulligan the one lander though. You love me so much today, Dryad Arbor. Clingy. Force pitch to fairy. Interessante. What is the least beatable card for Boros Energy? I think that Wrath Disguise is probably the single best card against them. Although it's kind of funny that they also just play a bunch of those Wraths too. I'd say some of the best surprising cards against them, like Graveyard Trespasser, Abhorrent Oculus, and now Ouroboroid give Sultai colors access to just big creature good against Boros. Yeah, Culling Ritual is a good one as well. So I think it's kind of interesting in this board specifically to be able to crack for Dryad Arbor. And then we still have the same amount of mana, and we also get the extra land. We might get Mendinged. I'm a little bit worried about that. Mendinged into Goryo's. We could have held up the Cling, but wasn't 100% sure they're playing Goryo's, and they have to have Mending, Goryo's, and Traxa to punish us. They don't have the Traxa. They put Marsh Flats in their graveyard. They have 3 cards in their hand. Goodbye, sweet angel. So if I hold up both fetches, I have Cling available. Maybe I should just main phase Cling. So this is 1, 2, 3. Oh, I don't have. I'm only playing 1 Surveil Land. That's probably wrong in this build. So that might be a holdover from the other 75. When an Earthcrafting another land and fetching the Arbor resulted in the same amount of mana for an extra Ouroboroid body. Earthcrafting on another land and fetching the Arbor results in the same amount of mana. An extra body. I guess I'm a little confused. What the isn't this better? I get the fetchable and I get the Arbor. Or you're saying fetch the Arbor. Oh, okay. Oh, are you saying the Badgermole gives the extra body? This was better against removal. I see what you're saying. I guess we hold up the Cling and the Bowmaster. No, let's just main phase the Bowmaster. With only 1 card in their hand, it's gonna be so hard for them to Goryo's me. I don't think we need to hold up the Cling right now. This puts my opponent to 1 life, which means they can't crack their fetch. But they have Solitude. Sure thing, Kenny. Glad you had a good time. So again, they probably don't want to be flashing back the Mending right now into Bowmaster, especially with Solitude in play to just ping it. Do you think a Bowmaster or a Solitude attack could have been good? This Bowmaster draw is also pretty good. Sort of telegraphed, but I don't think that matters that much. I'd love to see a Hardened Scales or boardless. I don't think it's really that good with Scales. Like it doubles up the first trigger, and then I guess the next trigger is bigger. But I would just kind of rather cast a creature instead of casting an enchantment if I'm going to be playing an Ouroboroid in the deck. You know what I mean? I still can't grasp Mole and Ouroboroid in Modern. Seen so much in Standard. Yeah, pretty good. But I mean, both these cards are better in Modern too. I mean, maybe they could go Mending, take 6, gain 2, and Goryo's me. Maybe I shouldn't have got the Ouroboroid. It's probably chill. What's going on in the challenge? Still 4 matches, long round. They do discard a Gristlebrand. They won't be able to draw any cards if they Goryo's here. They do Goryo's, and then they have to block my 7/7, which just trades. Although not like trading is much better than. Oh, trading is better for them because it goes back to the graveyard. Well, the Gristlebrand over attracts is just kind of unlucky for them, I'd say. So I'm gonna bring in Endurance. Vexing Bauble is okay. I think I am interested. I think I'm interested in Fatal Pushes also for Frog. Maybe -1 Grist. The Bowmasters were definitely good that game. I think I'm gonna go down an Ouroboroid, down these, play like 2 Vexing Baubles. I do want to keep in the Icetill. Maybe cut a Nightmare. Keep. So they surveil in response. Kind of interested maybe in just bestowing the Nantuko on Arbor here. It's maybe a little... I think it's a little in on them not having Solitude. Okay, then probably best to just leave the Nantuko in the yard. What I can do is I can go cast Nightmare, and I have the option of like float mana off Dryad Arbor, sack Dryad Arbor to Nightmare, bring back Nantuko, crack fetch, play Ouroboroid next turn. Hope that was easy enough to follow. They graveyard a Wrath Disguise, which does kill my Dryad Arbor, so a sign of strength, I guess. Okay, Nile Spellbomb pretty good against the Nightmare. Second Nile Spellbomb, less good. They main phase sack. I think you want to build the board before you board. Board before board. And then if they have Wrath Disguise, okay, they do have Wrath Disguise. They have to have a land. And they do have the land. Not really also bad. Kind of lucky to have drawn this again. I do think I'm gonna go ahead and play this turn. A little bit scared of Teferi. Not so scared of this. Edge of Eternity monsters fighting each other. They're floating another white man. Okay, I guess they just have another Ephemerate, and then. But if they couldn't they have? I think they could have drawn an extra card if they had another Ephemerate. Maybe that's not big on their to-do list. They're gonna get a bunch of cards anyways. Well, I'm in on this. Please, please, please. Let's go. I guess I would fetch Dryad Arbor if I had another Arbor. Oh, you know what? I should have kept up the Cling to Dust. They chump block instead of getting 2 Ephemerate rebound. Then Nantuko on Ouroboroid it's so over the top. Does seem like they can Gorios me. Oh my gosh, so lucky. They evoke a Solitude. They've already played 2 endings. They don't have a second Solitude. Or at least an Ephemerate for the Solitude. This is a token, though. Okay, the Warp Riddler, draw 2 cards. Plays Flooded Strand, 2 cards. I guess we'll play this first so it can get big. Although, I mean, they're just dead if this trigger happens. And this trigger happens and they die. We're 3-1 in this league. But I was like, this has got to be fine on the draw. Okay, opponents on the build to 6. This is for a 4-1 here. Yeah, we can get a 4th Boros opponent in a row prediction. Oh, sorry, I'm after this, I guess. After this one. Spellman's deck was like okay off-stream testing. I just kind of wanted to play more of this deck instead. If you wanted to specifically start Boros, discard everything else, is your deck that does that. The best 2 decks against Boros in Modern are Neoform and Titan. Maybe Storm as another, like Neoform, Titan, Storm are good. I think I think Tron is like pretty good against it, but it's not like anything super special. I'm gonna wait on the Green Sun. Maybe could have just cast the Nantuko this turn. I think Boros is pretty heavily favored versus Titan, like 53% rate. At the Pro Tour, it was it was very favored for Titan at the last Pro Tour. I don't know what it is now. But at the last Modern Pro Tour, it was very heavily favored for Titan. I don't know what's changed exactly. Tron's pretty play draw. Yeah, I think so. I think Tron's probably just slightly favored. It wouldn't be like a great deck against it. That's true. My bad, I got it backwards. Yeah, Titan's been favored against Boros the whole Image 3, you know. Belcher's also favored against it. I think Belcher was unfavored against Boros at the PT. I think they were. I think Boros could just be very tech for Belcher to be good against it. 56. Yeah, 56% matchup's also very high, by the way. So I need to start saying that 56 is really high because I think some of these kids, they just don't know the numbers, Mason. It's like 20% representation is very high. A 56% matchup is a really good matchup. Maybe it's not that important to say this stuff, but just so we're all on the same page, maybe. I'm going to cast this, I suppose. That's kind of what we came here to do, and if they had discharge, this would probably already be dead. Is Jeskai Blink not good in grinding Boros? It's not nearly as good as people think, I think, in my opinion. I think it's probably... I don't know what the number is, but if I had to guess what the number is, I would guess that Jeskai Blink is like 52% against Boros. Maybe 51 or 50. Maybe 49. It's like... I don't actually think Jeskai Blink is that good against Boros. It's like, okay against Boros. They might have the Rathus guys here. Only a 2-for-1 at least. Play this, doesn't die to Flage, I guess. Has just Blink price pretty 50-50. Data has just Blink 48. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not surprised to hear it's slightly unfavored. I think people just kind of think it's favored and they want it to be, but it just... And you can kind of tech it a little bit more if you're like main decking a bunch of Wraths, but it's like... Yeah, I agree. I just don't think the deck is really there. I think I'm also going to Green Sun for a Halfling and then hold up Cling. In my experience, it's about 55% without a bombardment on the field. That's not a that. I don't know what I mean. It's like, all right, if they just don't draw one of their cards, then it's pretty good, and if they do, it's pretty bad. This isn't matchup analysis. What if Delighted Halfling was a 3/4? I'll trade. It's okay. They put a fountain in the yard. What matchup data people have? For me, I really only like to look at the matchup data from like our season PTs. I don't think the rest of it's like that effective of data, but I just kind of try to keep that in mind. But there is some other like Magic Online data and like paper data that kind of like lumps everything together. My experience as Jeskai, the Boros player, plays up optimally. I feel favored, otherwise 50-50. So that's an interesting thing to talk about. Hold on, I'm gonna go to combat first, I think. That's an interesting thing to talk about. Because in my opinion, when you're evaluating how good a matchup is, you should just evaluate it through the lens of both players are playing optimally. Oh, sorry. If I was gonna go for another Ouroboroid now, I should have already done it. I think it's fine to just Thoughtseize though. And then I guess I could play around. I guess I'll play around. Oh no! If they don't have any more surveillance, and if they do, they could just escape Flage immediately. So like, you should evaluate it. Like, this is kind of why like the Pro Tour data is better, maybe, but like better like actual matchup data because everyone's playing optimally. Because I agree, like at paper tournaments, like you could even say, oh, Boros players are less experienced a lot of times, or they make a lot of mistakes, and so if they're making those mistakes, they want to be more favored. But you need to be thinking about the actual good players because that's what the matchup actually is. Everybody's more favored against players who play bad. It just shouldn't actually factor in. Although weirdly with I understand with Boros, like you could just sequence your cards in any way, and Boros players choose wrong a lot. I get it. All right, so this attack means Discharge, Flage, Supreme Verdicts. I think all of those things I don't block. Let's go to combat, and then with this trigger on the stack, I'm going to cast this Bowmaster. So it was Discharge. I think we attack. So if they attack, they go up to 12. I go down to 12. And then this is a 7 power creature. This is an 8 power creature. I think this kills them. I cannot believe I've been sleeping on Ouroboroid this long. I don't know. The card has just been so consistently very good. Also, how does it know to stack the triggers correctly each time? I guess it just stacks the one that's been in play longest first, and that's always the one you want to stack first. Dude, they tapped the consign. Damn it. Okay, they do have enough energy to top deck a Wrath. Alright, so up a game against Jeskai Blink. It doesn't matter how they stack. Okay, it does. You want to stack the bigger one first, right? Because so if you have a 4 power 1 and a 1 power 1, if the 1 power 1 triggers first, you get 6 counters and everything. If the 4 power 1 triggers first, you get 9 counters on everything. Now, I did not graduate from university. However, I'm pretty sure 6 is bigger than 9. What am I cutting? I want to keep with the Trespassers because they're a Flage deck. I want to keep in the Bowmasters because they're a Riddler deck. I want to keep in the Nightmares because they're a Grinding deck. I guess everything's good against Jeskai, huh? Maybe I just don't play the Fatal Pushes. Let me go down to Rumble. Lol, you said it wrong? Listen, I told you I didn't graduate. You're making fun of a college dropout, and I hope you feel ashamed of yourself. We're a very misunderstood group because we can't articulate our thoughts well. Ashiok too slow. Yeah, we have enough graveyard hate without Ashiok for Flage. Oh, I said 6 is bigger than 9 again. I hope you feel ashamed of yourself. Let's bait the Serenade on the Bowmaster, I think. Bird token, attack! It's a little risky bisky to go Cub onto the Arbor here. But I don't think they probably have it. If they have Salt, I don't really care. What's percentage of games for Cup Earthman's Fetch? Yeah, it is pretty low. Honestly, might not have been the worst game to do it on. Although, no, we're always casting double Cub this turn. While they discharge the Cub instead of the Arbor, I feel like that's probably wrong. Just gonna pass back here though. So next turn I can go Badgermole onto another land. I only have 4 mana, so not enough to Green Sun for Ouroboroid. So Casey Jones, their hand is Solitude and then 3 or 5 mystery cards. Wow, 5. Seems like with the Roid, it goes against Conventional Wisdom. 4 mana Snowball, it takes a bit to get going. It doesn't take a bit. It immediately puts a counter on your whole team. Like, it kind of has an ETB effect. And then, like, the next turn, it's like just the board. The game's kind of over. But I agree. It's it does go against Conventional Wisdom, but Modern has long since kind of been a weird format, and a lot of maybe less conventional stuff has been happening. They have Ephemerate. We do get to rebound here, but then they can Ephemerate on the Arbor. Okay. This might be a Earthbend onto a fetchland game. Ooh, I drew the Nightmare. Okay, so let's go attack with the bird. I'm a proud I proudly say bird and not burb, by the way, when given opportunity. And as a viewer, I hope that you appreciate that. Really like Nightmare Badgermole. So will they ephemerate the KC or the Solitude? Do they have a consign for the KC? They could ephemerate target the KC looking for consign as well. Casey Jones Loam seems cool. That does seem cool. Any thoughts on revisiting Assault Loam with things like Cool But Rude? Not Cool But Rude, I really have disliked that card in my testing. If you got something else though, I'm open. So they target the KC. Wait, what happened? Oh, they just target the KC and then they discard it first. That makes sense. And then they Wrath the Skies. That's pretty good, although we do get our lands back from the Earthbending. I don't have the Arbor anymore to go like Nightmare plus Greensun for Arbor. I think I'm just gonna Greensun for another Cub and then try to like put more Cubs into play with the Nightmare. I think that's the plan. So will they discard their hands? They consign to keep their last card. 2 cards in their hand after their draw step. 3 Arena of Glories in play. They Legend Rule a Casey. Crazy I'm not out of this yet. I don't even think I'm that behind, honestly. I'm definitely behind. If they just don't have a strong hand from here, I think I'm doing pretty good. Like maybe they'll just have to discard their cards. I'm glad that Casey found a home. I think this card's pretty good. Definitely was one that tested well. Just chill. Just chill. Opponent. Relax. Let's rule 0. No removal spells. 9 matches still in the challenge. We are 3-1. Okay, they pitch a Flage, which is interesting because discarding Flage for Arena next turn was really good. I've only watched your games with Badgermole and Modern. Any matchups it could struggle in? Yep. Boros. But nobody plays that deck. So they have 10 power, and I have 11 life. This is so cool. The Nightmare Badgermole Cub stuff. I'm so sorry. I just cut Nightmare for a league. I was so silly of me, and I'll never do it again. So I'm gonna get a stop just in case they surveil Flage in the yard here. They do keep a card on top. They go to combat. I think I block 1 Solitude here so I don't die to top deck Flage later. And then I take 7 down to 4. One card in their hand. It is a spell. Is it a removal spell? Is it Felia? No, they would have hasted Felia off of Arena. Could Ouroboroid Cauldron Walking Ballista be a thing? I mean, maybe you like incidentally do that if you're playing like Brood Scale or something, but listen, Ouroboroid doesn't need Cauldron plus Ballista to be good. And then, Cauldron plus Ballista is just like... That just is its own plan usually when you're playing it. So I can go Nightmare back 2 Cubs again. But then I have to chump block the Casey. Maybe I should just try to endurance and block Casey. I guess I think what I want to do. So I think I want to go play Nightmare. Nightmare back a Badgermole. And then Nightmare back Bowmaster. And then like just a slightly bigger board here. Rumble and Chomp. I'm maybe a little too focused on not dying to a top deck Flage, but in these kind of games it's very easy to just like put yourself in a position where your opponent just draws a Flage and the game is over. So I think I like chumping with both Bowmasters, and then I get to start this turn or next turn with the Cub in play potentially. Not 100% sure about this line. Could Rumble also could have maybe like found me Ouroboroid or something. So there is the Flage. So we successfully played around that. We have the endurance for it, although we have to go chump here. So probably just gonna be hard casting the endurance this next turn. Yeah. So just hard cast endurance. That's the turn. Maybe they'll just draw us land. A land. So they attack with both. We block. We have to block the KC, so we do it. They do force this trade. Another green sun is kind of a funny pickup. I think I'm gonna go Rumble and then maybe like block with the spawn, sack the spawn, and then cast Bowmaster later. I want the Ouroboroid in the graveyard for the Nightmare, I imagine. I think we take the Cub. Tiny optimization. Maybe we should have waited till their draw step to reduce average card quality. Does it just put on the bottom? Yeah, they don't shuffle their deck. Perhaps worth greeting Rumble into Endurance. I don't know. I mean, just trading for the Casey seems really nice. We don't have to keep jumping every turn. Do we not want to ping the Solitude block with the 1-1? I don't think so, because I wanted the 1-1 in play so I could sack it and get back Ouroboroid and just not care about the Solitude. But it looks like they're going to like Arena of Glorious Solitude, maybe. Okay, well now we'll make the block. Didn't we Nightmare the Bowmaster back? Didn't we Nightmare the Bowmaster back? Or am I tripping? I mean, you're tripping. This is a Bowmaster I drew. Pick yourself up, my friend. You have fallen. All right. I don't know how we didn't hear about one of these cards last turn, but whatever. Let's go to game 3. Game 3 on the play. But it did not, in fact, draw a land ever. Game 3 on the play. Okay, on the play. I'm going to keep... I think I'm just going to Surveil turn 1. The Surveil seems pretty nice. And I can maybe go, like, Nightmare turn 2 into Nantuko land, buy back whatever I Surveil into the yard. Which, yeah, that's an option. Yeah, Grist felt... We had 2 in the first draft, which we trophied with, and then ended up promoting Grist to 2 copies. Or sorry, 3 copies. And I'll say this, I have been an avid Grist hater for quite some time. And so I want to say I apologize to Grist. Grist, you still got it. You still got it, kid. So if I draw another Green Sun, I guess I'll go like Nantuko, Green Sun, buy back Halfling, so I can Green Sun for Ouroboroid next turn. Otherwise, probably just playing Grist, plussing, and then buying back the Halfling if they do nothing. Maybe if I'm sniffing Ophelia, we'll go like Nantuko land, buy back Halfling. I think one Ashiok could be good against Jeskai. You should bring in one in the mirror. I mean, are you like a Cling to Dusk Graveyard Trespasser deck? So they Surveil a Flage into yard. Pretty lucky. I draw a Badgermole Cub. You get serenaded. Sing to me. So I guess let's do this. And then they have a discharge. Okay. So I probably need to green sun for endurance because stupid surveil land puts stupid flage in the yard. Although I need to draw land to do that. I can also grist the flage maybe. Okay, they have another flage. Actually, this is just good for me if they target this because then I get to try to surveil into a land for the green sun. See you later, Flage. And I mean that literally. So they got 5 cards in their hand after they untap. Good chance we're going to go Thoughtseize into Grist. I want to Thoughtseize first with the Apheli. I know to leave Endurance back to block. Dang it! My Thoughtseize bricked! I guess they were saving all their lands to draw for this game. Which is not a good strategy, probably. Pretty unlucky for the Thoughtseize to brick there. Oh my gosh, Magic Online! Give me my 3 damage back! Golly. Is it better to put half? I think it's better to put Arbor into. No, we'll put Halfling into place so we can trigger landfall with it next turn. Oh, they drew the plains, huh? Alright, they graveyard a discharge. Need like Quantum Riddler. Okay, we win right in time for round 5 of the challenge. I guess I'm gonna do a quick prediction. This prediction will be 4th Boros opponent in a row for the challenge. 4th challenge Boros opt in a row. The last 3 have all been Boros. We beat them twice, both times when we were on the draw.